What's up, boys? It's a Nostalgic Gaming channel back at it again with some RTS Sunday, Age of Mythology Sunday. If you guys remember, we just got into the Norse campaign and it's getting spicy. We're fighting a bunch of mythical creatures, right? We're looking out for giants, and now we're about to make our way into the Dwarven Forge. I wonder what we have to find in there. Let's see. Let's jump right into it. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
What do you think, Idri?
We're running out of time. What choice do we have?
What do you think they'll want?
What are you little men doing up here?
Your help. We need your help.
Then come out of the shadows and speak with us.
Those dwarves were stalking us the whole time.
Our forge has been invaded by giants. We need your army to drive them out.
I'm sorry, we don't have time to help you right now.
Wait. Can you reach Midgard from your forge?
Of course. Our forge is deep under the mountains and our mines go all the way through. You'll help us then?
If you deliver us into Midgard.
Excellent. Come, the mine entrance is this way.
So now we've made some friends with some dwarves, right? And they need us to do a big job, right? They need us to get rid of a
Settlement.
bunch of giants.
We can build our base in this area.
And giants are no joke. Look at him kicking my guys and then clubbing them. No, seriously though, giants are no joke in this game. They are very strong. And then look at that troll up on the hill trying to throw rocks at us.
These ugly things throw rocks.
So it looks like Chiron and Ajax are back, right? Because remember last time we saw them, they weren't here. Man, why did I use the dwarves to chop trees? There you go. I was going to say, dwarves aren't supposed to be chopping trees. They got little legs and little arms. There ain't no way they're going to be chopping those trees effectively. We need the villagers to do it. And unfortunately, because we are stage 1, our guys do not have a lot of buildings they could build, right? So we're going to increase our... What are they casting on us? Oh, healing spring power? Okay. Yeah, I think they cast a healing spring in the middle of the forge, right? Or somewhere over there. But we'll end up capturing it eventually. So, the main part of this mission is... And this is actually one of the more difficult missions. If you guys see later, I actually come within seconds from losing, right? Spoiler alert. This is one of the more difficult missions that they have. So in the center of the map, as you see, I panned over it a second ago. There's a bunch of dwarven forge equipment, and this forge equipment helps the dwarves make really powerful like weapons and armor and stuff, right? So those two little dwarfs that we saw, right, the little heroes, they're gonna end up sticking around with us for a while. But they're the ones that operate that forge, and they need us to reclaim it from the giants, right? So once you get in there, and there's a pretty decent sized army around the forge, right? And there's a pretty, like, two main enemy offensive areas where they build troops and go around and make units and upgrades and whatnot. So there's two main large bases. So as soon as you attack, right, they start reinforcing very heavily to the forge. And these guys will just go straight for the forge and try and kill it. And if they kill the forge, you lose. Game over. GG. No reset. GG. GGEs. Right? So you have to be very careful and have an army on standby. You can't just overtake the forge. You have to have an army on standby, right? And it's already a difficult battle, so you've probably lost a lot of troops doing it. So unless you have a pretty massive army, it's better to kind of pick it off slowly. Because once you take capture of it, they're coming for back in blood, right? They're going to take it back in blood. There's no way they're going to let you survive. So, the perks of having the forge, though, is you get these really awesome upgrades, right? You get, like, super high level upgrades that you don't usually get. Where are you going, Chiron? Where are you going? Why are you running in there? Did I set you in there? I thought I was setting you to explore the outside. I don't think my boy's gonna make it. But it's okay. We'll be able to rescue him very shortly if he dies. The one nice thing about the villagers is they can build farms, right? So that's the one thing they can build. And you can upgrade them to the Ulfskar. So one nice thing is if you're ready to do your all-out attack and you're like, it's time to go, there's no more farming, I need a full based army and I'm going in for the win, you can upgrade your villagers to the Ulfskars and do it like a final push. Just kind of like you can with the Atlanteans, how you can upgrade your guys to heroes, right? That's a nice little ace in the pocket, right? It's a nice little trump card that you have in your pocket that you can pull out when you need to, right? It's like having a laser bear. If you guys remember that episode where I pulled out the laser bear, that was pretty sweet, right? Could never happen. I mean, I technically could happen. Nothing's impossible, right? In the future, if we give bears lasers and machetes for arms, that'd be pretty wild. But we're going to focus on base building here, and I want to explore the river. Oh my god, there's a lot of enemies here. Oh, no, there's not. There's just a giant and a wolf. So, I love the wolf myth creatures because the more you build, the stronger they get, and it scales pretty hard. So, the more you have, the much more damage you get. It's like getting a Hydra, right? Where it gets more heads. Protect my Ulfskar. No, don't get kicked by the giant. So it's a pretty spicy myth unit, right? They're a little pricey, and you have to build a lot of them. Once you invest, like, you're gonna have to go in heavy on it, because if you don't, like, you're not gonna get the reap the full benefit that you need. And I don't know if it infinitely scales. That's something I could test for you guys later. If it is, that could be an unbeatable army, right? If you rush it, like battle cruisers in StarCraft, like, just rush to battle cruisers. You just gotta rush to wolves. So, but I do want to explore this water here because if I remember correctly, like, there's a pretty easy drop-off point, and there may be like an enemy water base around here that if we destroy, we weaken them a little bit and we make our lives a little bit easier, because this is a tough mission. You guys are going to hear me say that a couple times. This is not an easy one. I struggled with it, and I spent a lot of time upgrading. I spent a lot of time building an army. And granted, I'm not the best RTS player of all time, but I would like to say I'm pretty decent, right? And I don't understand why in my party here where I have Ajax, Arcantos, and the Norse units, why Armonra gets priority on the voice line. Not that I'm complaining, because I like the Egyptian voice lines. I just think it's kind of funny that this is like the Norse campaign, and they're still giving priority to Monra. And I kill both the bears, because I don't want the bears to kill my villagers when I'm not paying attention. Because they can swipe my villagers pretty quick, especially if I'm distracted in a battle. It looks like I bought myself a Valkyrie, right? So Valkyries have the special ability to heal, like the priests do for the Egyptians, right? So it's a very useful utility unit. Not a fantastic combat unit in my opinion. Like, imagine you could have a Valkyrie. Oh my god, there's mummies in here. There's got to be some kind of ancient artifacts in here, right? That the mummies are protecting. And oh man, they're blowing their mummy spray on my guys. They're probably killing them right now with their mummies. So we get a couple relics, right? That's what those dwarves were searching for in the walls. Oh, but like I was saying, so I wonder why it chooses Amonra and why the voice line is her, but Valkyries are not a super fantastic combat unit, and I'll tell you why. They're balanced because they can heal, right? And that's a super strong ability here. Keeping your units alive is always a super strong ability. And granted, like, if you're keeping a crappy unit alive as opposed to like a stronger unit, if your unit dies and frees up space for, let's say, a much bigger, much stronger unit, then maybe it's not worth it. But generally, it's better to keep your unit alive because even if they kind of suck, they can deal damage, right? And dealing damage over time ends up being worthwhile because that's resources you're saving by not having to, by giving extra damage. So the Valkyrie's pretty decent in that aspect. It's a good utility unit. But the Troll gives more damage in his range, and the Mountain Giant is a much tankier boy with siege damage. So that's why I think the Valkyries are kind of the least. And those other Jarl guys that blow their horns, like, they have an ability to give everyone increased damage. So I think the Valkyries are better than them. Those are, I think, my least favorite Norse unit. But Mountain Giants for the win. Watching those boys come and stomp everybody is pretty satisfying. So we're going to build a longbow, and we're going to go ahead and explore. Get a little bit of vision out here. And watch out, these are snake-infested waters. Right? We found a Yogmandar, or Yormund of the river, right? But for some reason, my longboat has decided to engage with it, despite the fact that it's getting absolutely shreked. Run, little longboat. See, if it runs fast enough, it could just dodge all the arrows. That's one thing that I like about this game is that's pretty realistic, right? If someone's shooting an arrow or range projectile at you and you're moving, they're not going to have impeccable accuracy to hit you, right? Oh, we're going to pick battle boars? Nope, you know we're picking frost giants. You guys are going to get to see the power of frost giants in this situation here. And they are very powerful. Upgrade our units once. And I'm going to take these guys here shortly on an exploratory mission because I want to see what's around the rest of the map. Ajax, get out of there. You're not going to cut down a tree. And we see a couple myth units come in. But luckily they don't target any of our little villagers, right? And we can use our dwarven heroes to attack them. Even though they don't do very well, like battle-wise, they're still hero units, right? And they're hero units with the ability to mine, which is pretty spicy. And we're able to upgrade our unit here, or our age. Increase flood the Nile, right? So whenever I get an opportunity to upgrade an economic advancement, I do. Especially if it's a resource that is not super limited, like farms or right, like the fish from the ocean. Like that's a return on investment that's insane. Same with like the donkey carts, right? The donkey cart investments are super good because it's an infinite supply of gold, right? So long as you can protect your trade carts. Just like the farms are an infinite supply of food. And that's the nice thing about the Norse here is I could just build it in the middle of nowhere and not have to worry about it. But the donkey caravans or the oxen caravans in this case are an infinite supply of food, right? So, I mean gold. So I never have to worry about coming back and that investment. Like when you invest in hunting tools, like that runs out pretty quick, right? Because the farmable animals on the land is not super plentiful, especially if two people are fighting for them. But the farms go forever. I know you don't get food as fast, but it ends up being a return on investment over time is much more worthwhile than getting the short-term ones. Trees are tricky because you need lumber, right, for ranged units, but you don't need. Once you build all your buildings and get all your upgrades, you could build an army without range units. It's just not going to be as strong. And when you run out of trees, there's not much you could do. There's no more trees, or you're going to have to expand into dangerous territory to gather from the trees, right? There's not an infinite supply way of getting wood as there is with food and gold. Even if you were like pinned down or whatever, you could build the ox carts and make them, you know, a shorter distance. Oh, he advanced again. So we have to be careful because our enemy's actually advancing pretty quickly, right? Advancing at the same rate as we are. So we have to be careful because they're probably building better units, getting upgrades, making their guys stronger. I don't really know how good the AI is about that. But it feels like when I remember doing this mission that the enemy had some pretty good like units and pretty strong abilities, and they were fighting pretty hard. I think the difficulty definitely scaled up in this mission as opposed to some of the easier ones, which is good. A game like this should have natural progression of difficulty where it starts getting harder and harder as you start understanding the mechanics as you start like understanding the game more. At this point, if you don't know how to play Age of Mythology, even with a different faction, like I don't really know what to tell you. Hey, how come they never built my wall? Lazy workers.
Get it.
It's okay. We're gonna take our guys on an expedition here to go over and we let our Valkyries heal a little bit, but we're gonna try and flank the enemy base because I remember, at least when I was playing this, I remember that there was one base on the right and then like a base to the north, right? And I know the base to the right, I'm pretty sure provides more, provided more like units than the base to the north. So I'm gonna build a couple heroes because even though I have like 6 heroes, right? That's not enough, I think, for the myth units that I know I'm going to be fighting here. I know primarily their army consists of like mountain giants and frost giants, so I wanted to have the ability. Oh my god, and my miners here. I want to have the ability to just womp on these guys, no problem. Come on, heroes, get in the fight. Protect the little dwarves. And you know, in this game, like, I know the dwarves don't really, like, battle, but in most mythology, in most, like, popular culture that involves dwarves are fierce fighters, right? Dwarves have axes. Look at Gimli. Like, he jumps. I know some people don't like Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings. I think it's fantastic. I think it's peak fiction. I think legitimately it's one of the best things ever written and the best pieces of cinema ever, right? Fight me about it if you think I'm wrong. Leave a comment telling me why I'm wrong. But Lord of the Rings, peak fiction. Wasn't a super big fan of The Hobbit. I read the books to Hobbit, right? I didn't like it as much as, you know, the original trilogy, because the original trilogy was goated with the sauce. But when you think about dwarfs in most like literature and most kind of fantasy, like high fantasy settings, kind of like this, right? Dwarfs are super tough, super strong fighters that don't really take no for an answer, are very stubborn, and the dwarfs in this one are all like miners and gatherers, right? I wish the Norse had some kind of dwarf like fighting unit, because if you're gonna make use of the dwarves, you might as well show them in their, you know, actual form. Right, even in like Warcraft, when you get dwarves as humans, they're like riflemen and they're like little engineers. Oh, look at all those giants. There's flame giants, there's mountain giants, there's trolls. So I'm killing the base or the actual buildings in here for one reason, right? If I kill the buildings, they're probably not going to rebuild them. If I kill the troops, they probably will rebuild them. So in my mind, if I'm sending in the Suicide Squad, right? Margaret Robbie and those guys, right? All those guys, the Suicide Squad, whatever the rest of the characters are. Never watched the movie. I might as well do as much damage as possible that I know is going to be lasting damage, right? And actually, my heroes are doing a fantastic job of killing these myth units. Granted, they are heroes, and I have some heavy axemen backing them up. They're doing a fantastic job of killing them. But I have to retreat my guys because I know that there's no way that there's not going to be a counterattack sometime soon. And if there is, I'm in big trouble because I have nothing left at the base. Build me a market, bro. Get him, Ajax. We'll come back for those guys later. Oh, did Amonra make it too? Was that who that was? Sorry guys, when I record here and when I do it on Premiere Pro, oh no, it's just another of the hero units. When I record on the Premiere Pro, and I upgraded my Frost Giants, I love the Frost Giants with the horns, they're so much stronger. They're like mega Frost Giants. And that's a increased like food farming supply upgrade. But when I record on Premiere Pro, everything's so tiny that I kind of have to like squint in and look into it. Because I usually narrate these maybe like a week, 2 weeks, depending on, you know, how I'm feeling and like the how busy I am in my personal life. But oh, we're selling a bunch of lumber, right? I have too much of it and I need more gold. I want to upgrade as soon as possible, but I didn't even buy any meat, so I still can't upgrade. But while I'm recording, right, I'll try and do like 5 Age of Mythology episodes in a row. That way, like, the first episode you see, I'm usually pretty crappy. And then as I get rolling, like, okay, I'm good. Like, I'm back in the mix. I got it again. I'm ready to go. So that's why I don't remember all the names of these things sometimes. And when I'm trying to read it from the screen, it's so tiny. I need to remember how to go ahead and... Oh, of course we're picking tier, right? It benefits improve your infantry, and we get the Furnace Wolf Brood. Yeah, we're doing that. Plus his ultimate power is not great. Like his god power is not fan. Did a unit just disappear? No, I reviewed the footage. It was just a wolf. It was a wolf corpse that died that I killed. But his ultimate is not like his god power is not super fantastic. You get to summon a bunch of wolves near an enemy command center, and if they have a bunch of people farming, it's really strong. Like it'll kill all their villagers. Right? It's very devastating economic-wise, but in these missions, I don't think the village or the enemy actually really focuses on economics, so I don't think they have to worry about it that much. Oh, as you can see, my eye shine froze that mountain giant, and we just wailed on him until he died. That's why these boys are goated with the sauce. And he created a little barrier that way. Unfortunately, they had a troll, but that wolf couldn't find a path, so he just kind of ran around and disappeared. So summoning the wolves in people's like settlements is strong in killing their villagers. It's not. I mean, it's nice if you're sieging them, right? And you need the reinforcements. Like all of a sudden, a bunch of wolves reinforced, and now the enemies have struggled to try and target. Just like what I did with the goats, right? When I had the goats, they weren't able to properly target my units, and they were targeting the goats. It's almost the same thing. It's a secret strategy. Whereas the other main god, right? The other god had Ragnarok, which turns all of your villagers into like heroes and fighting units. It's pretty strong. If that's what I remember correctly, it does. I haven't picked Ragnarok in a while. I'll try and pick it for one of these upcoming videos. That way you guys can see. I try and pick at least everything once. That way you guys get to see like all the different myth units and all the different god powers and make your own decisions as to what's good and what's not. Because you can listen to me say it, and then you might say, well, that has a different use than you think it does, and just be better than I. So we're building a couple siege units because I know it's going to be heavily fortified. We're upgrading our guys. We lost quite a few heroes, but we have more now. I think we're getting ready for a siege here. And as you can see, my first god power, guys, Forest Fire, literally the crappiest god power in the entire game. Hands down, by far the worst. So I activated my power here, and let's watch what happens here with the settlement. So unfortunately, the enemy I think only has one actual settlement in this map, and the rest of it's all just extension, and that's why it's not as powerful as it could be. If they have more settlements, it's more powerful, right? I don't know what the spread of wolves is if you have more. I don't know if you get less wolves per settlement, or if you get more wolves, or if it's a set amount for each one, but it's a good distraction to lead my guys in. And unfortunately, they didn't send anyone to reinforce that settlement. I thought that they would clear some of the enemy units out, but instead we're just getting pelted from the rafters by that single troll, right? It's like a common internet troll just throwing rocks behind a big wall. You can't see him, you just know he's there and he's being annoying. Well, let's get our guys going in there. And we're gonna build some wolf bloods, right? For your wolf brood. Because we want that stacking bonus. But they cost a lot of gold. They're expensive. Granted, they're a late game unit, like comparable to gold colossuses. They're not that expensive. Right? But it's still pricey and they add up, but man, they do get some nice stacking abilities over time. So at this point, I feel like I'm living large. I'm like, okay, like I got my army here. I got a frost giant, right? I got quite a few heroes. I got some siege units. I actually got 2 frost giants, right? Like, life is good. You guys are gonna see life was not good very shortly here. I really should have moved my frost giant. He's getting wasted by those guys. Move, frost giants, move. So as you can see, that battle wasn't too difficult, right? It wasn't too crazy. And with my frost giants easily dispatching them, right? I'm not struggling too much. It sounds like, yeah, he died from those creatures in the woods. Okay, let's take over all these things, right? And this was my mistake. I prematurely sent all of my guys to take over when I didn't have a very big army, right? I didn't have all my eco maxed. But I'm like, it's not a big deal. And that freaking monster decides to kill the rest of my my siege weapons. And now this is where we have to defend the forge. And a bunch of giants spawn from the middle, and they're flame giants. The flame giants, they're a final myth unit, and they're very strong because they throw bouncing fireballs, and they can hit multiple units at the same time with a lot of damage. So I'm not even worried at this point. I'm like, oh, it's just a couple flame giants, and then all of a sudden, the actual mountain giants come out, and I'm like, okay, this is not good. And look how close the forge comes to dying. Watch, you guys are gonna see. That's not the closest it comes. It comes even closer. So at this moment, I'm panicking, right? I'm panic rolling. I'm sending as many things as I can over here. I can't even build over there to defend it. But you definitely get some really good upgrades from here. These are like the best upgrades you can get. They're higher than the highest level. So in this one, it's better to, if you're not going to upgrade, it's better to use those upgrades. Alright, save your money for those. And thank goodness my frost lasts a very long time. Because I need more money. I need more units. I need more guys over there. And then I wasn't even able to kill the monsters with the guys that I had there. See how close it came? It was literally within 200 damage of dying. That's like 2 more hits from those guys. Last second save, suspense. Now we get to clickbait. But that's going to be the majority of, if I remember, that's probably the majority of most of the attackers, right? So now it's just a countdown. And I think we end up ending it early because I kill all the enemies, if I'm not mistaken. But as soon as I try and leave to go fight those guys, the monsters come right back. So I'm a liar. There's still more enemies coming from the area that I assaulted earlier. And these guys attack quick, and they go right for the forge at first, right? They weren't looking for my units, they went right for the forge. They knew what they were doing. I really should have got a Valkyrie here to help heal my guys. This is the point where a Valkyrie is worth its weight in gold. When I have strong units that need to be protected, that's when Valkyries are worth their weight in gold. And we need some more heroes, and we need some more wolves. We need some more frost giants. We need more everything. And that one should be pretty much dead. We used our wolves to deal a ton of damage to it earlier, so that should be basically dead. But it's nice to have these unit producing buildings so close. Like, I'm not gonna stop mentioning how important that is to the Norse. Like, how crucial aspect of gameplay that is. Like, my reinforcements are just get there. The one thing I hate is their siege units are not great. The rams are terrible. Like, the catapults are just so much better. So now we run down their settlement. We're gonna show it in their faces. I really should have built a fortress. That way I could get more siege units here. We'll do a little bit of exploring, and here we go. We're going to continue with the final onslaught. So the rest of it's just me running over the enemies with my tiny army here, but they can't really put up much of a resistance because I just keep building. Hey, but as always, thank you guys for watching. Shout out to everyone that, like Viv that leaves comments and whatnot, and Time Traveler. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I do this for you guys, and I also do this for me because I enjoy doing it. I hope you guys enjoy watching. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy a little bit of carnage here, right? Let's just enjoy a little bit of carnage while we like and subscribe. Oh man, that's actually a lot of units. I have to be very careful because they can easily sneak in and kill. I don't even know where they came from. There must have been some kind of trigger around of where those guys just spawned, because I'm pretty sure I killed all of the unit producing structures. Luckily my army's able to intercept them pretty quick. We'll build one of these wolf or oh, there you go. I'm a liar. There's literally one just south of me. We'll build one of those river snakes and go show the any more river snakes left over who's boss. So I also explore the water to make sure, and there's nothing hidden in the water. There's no secret relics. There's no secret enemies. There's no secret bosses. I tried. I built docks on both sides just to make sure, because I want to make sure I give you guys the full experience. And we'll build some houses. That way I can build some more units. But it was pretty cool that we found those relics in the wall. Like, that's just a little side mission, right? That rewards you for exploring. And they don't do that in every mission. Like, in fact, that's not super common like that. I mean, usually there's relics around, and if you look around for them pretty hard enough, you'll find them. But I thought that was pretty cool. Right, I'm a big fan of things like that when they reward you for exploration, because that one you actually kind of had to go out of your way to find. And then the little trap with the mummies, it's like, oh, okay, that's a little callback to Egypt, right? That's kind of cool. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of that. But yeah, we basically laid waste to the entire enemy force here. I'm going to show you guys how sucky this is. I can't even burn my own guys with forest fire. All it does is, I mean, you could clear a path with it, and maybe you could do some sneaky attack or something, or like run out the enemy's lumber if this is a really late game battle. But other than that, it sucks. It doesn't do damage. It just gets rid of some trees. Right? It's the worst god power I think in the whole game, so take my word for it. If not, well, I don't know what to tell you, because it's the worst. Most things I'm pretty open to listening to other opinions, but I think it's the worst. And I don't think you can argue that one. But we'll finish up here. We got 4 minutes and 16 seconds, 4 minutes and 14 seconds. Actually, I guess you kill everyone and the game's over. Thanks, guys. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Don't forget to leave a comment. Love you guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Don't forget to catch me on Twitch. I'm starting to stream again. The Nostalgia Gaming channel.
The forge is yours again. I think I've had enough of the giants.
Oh, you'll have plenty more giants in Midgard. Come, we'll show you the way.
Most of you aren't Norsemen. Why are you going to Midgard?
An enemy of ours has come here. He is looking for an entrance into the underworld. We must stop him.
The underworld? Niflheim? Well, good luck. This is Midgard. We must return to our forge.
Do you think they will find the passage into Niflheim?
Who else are we going to follow? Come, let's get everything together quickly. First the fair-haired clan raids us. Now these giants come down from the hills.
Keep quiet. Another giant is coming this way.
What kept you?
It took our Cantos longer to get to the pass than we expected. Has Loki taken care of our opposition?
Yes. There is a god who watches over these people. But Loki found the source of his strength, a hammer, and destroyed it. He has no power without it.
Excellent. I may not have to kill you after all, Kemsit. Let's go.
Damn giants. All right, boys. Bye.